In the March of 2017, I played this tournament in Karur, Tamil Nadu, and this tournament had a lasting impression on my chess, my play in tournaments generally. Uh, it taught me a good lesson actually. This tournament. Now this was a below 1600 tournament, meaning only players of rating 1600 or below could participate. There were around 400 people, and there were 9 rounds. So every day there were three. First day there were three. Second day there was four, and last day there was 2 rounds. Okay, so generally, first day is usually easy if you are a high rated player. At that time, I was rated 1385, and this was a below 1600 tournament, so it was a relatively high rating. So at least the first two games on the first day would usually be easy because you get lower rated opponents, right? So in this video, I'll just take you through the main positions that I had throughout the tournament, all the 9 games, the turning point of each game, and let me take you to the first day. First day, first round, I had an opponent who was rated 1112, and I got this position out of the opening. My king is safe, everything is good, and here white has a winning move. Can you spot it? White to play and win. Black has just played pawn a6, attacking the bishop. This is a threat, but then white has a move that wins. If you need more time, you can pause the video and find out. The move played was the move that wins is knight e5. Not moving the bishop away, but before that, we are attacking the pinned knight. And this got me a good position. So queen went back, like queen went back, and I played knight takes knight, pawn takes back, and bishop takes pawn. And it's a winning position for white. The black king is stuck in the middle. Queen will move, probably to a4 or c2. This bishop is very strong, and I went on to win this game. This was an easy game actually. Second round, I was facing a 1248 rated opponent, Ashkar, a fellow Keralite who later became a friend. Second round, I had this position. I don't remember the opening exactly. I think it was Slav defense in Queen's Gambit, where you play c6 and then take the pawn on c4 and put a bishop here. So in this position, black has a winning move. Can you find the move that wins for black? It looks a little congested, the black position, but this bishop is strong. And right now, there's a tactic that wins, and the move is knight c5, attacking the knight. And if this knight cannot be defended, that's a funny thing. Like, I mean, you can defend it, but if you defend it, like for example, let's say knight e2, then what happens? You just push the pawn. And when this knight moves, the bishop is hanging. You can take with the queen also, like queen take bishop is also the same thing. So I basically got a piece and I won the game. So after knight c5, I got this piece using this tactic of discovered attack. And this was also not a difficult win. It was easy. Then comes the third round where I was facing a similar rated opponent. Remember, I was 1385 at the time of the tournament, my rating that is. I was facing Harsha 1348. And this was the position that we reached. This I remember this was Sicilian, and I had played the Kopek system, and I got this nice position where all my pieces are active. I've got this d5 pawn, which is stopping black from freeing up. So in this position, white has a winning move. Can you find the move I played in the game? White to play and win. The move was queen f4. The knight is pinned. So basically, I'm attacking this knight twice, and he cannot defend it. I mean, she cannot defend it. If she moves the knight, that is an interesting move, right? Knight h5, what do we do? I guess we play queen d6. This should be good. Yeah? Yeah, queen d6 should be good. And then next move g4 is coming, trapping the knight. Yeah, so right now this knight's hanging, this knight's hanging. I'm sure engine will find a better move. Let's just check with the engine what was. Yeah, engine says queen d6. That is the correct move. So after queen f4, I got a piece basically, and I converted this position without much difficulty. So after day one, I was on 3 out of 3, all three games to win. First game with this knight e5, second game with the knight c5 move, third game just now like I showed queen f4 move. Now second day is usually really tough. It defines your tournament. Like I know second day and third day, final day is also important, but second day is what changes the direction of your tournament. If you do well, you have a chance on the third day of doing ending up in a good spot in the standings. If you do badly, then you don't feel like playing the third day because there is very little chance you'll get a prize. So second day, fourth round, I was facing Vishwak 1416, and this was actually a tough game. I tried some weird stuff on the king side without any reason actually. I mean, I tried to double up the rooks on this h file, but I had no pieces to support the attack. It was just two rooks and a queen. By the time the king got to e2, and basically my pieces look bad, I'm down 2 pawns. If you look at this position, right? So this is supposed to be bad for me. But here, White played this queen e5 move. White just took a pawn that was on e5. This was played, and that I remember this was time trouble for both of us. We were very low on time. The time control for the tournament was 30 plus 30, 30 minutes and 30 seconds per move increment. So there wasn't a lot of time, so it was very usual to get into time trouble by the end of the game. And here in time trouble, he played queen e5. That allows me attacking. Remember, my rook is hanging, and queen is supposed to be exchanged now. That is what he was thinking, but he did not see this rook e8 move, which makes it equal. But he then blundered and got into a very lost position. So here, the best line for him would be to take the rook, bishop takes, and then take the rook on h3. But he messed it up, and I got a win out of this game. So this was a move that defined the game. This got me back into the game. This blunder, queen e5 blunder, allowed rook e8, and I got back in the game. So this was a lucky break. It was a game I should have lost because my attack was bad, and I'm down 2 pawns. So he should have played better and won this. But in tournaments, 1 or 2 games you get wins out of luck, and you got to take it uh, because most of the games you have to work hard to win, and some games 1 or 2 you get out of luck. And this was one of them. Now round five, I had this very interesting game. I remember this was a Caro-Kann, advanced Caro-Kann. You can see e5 and c6, where I played h4 and g4, and then castle queen side. I got as king basically. I have sacrificed a pawn. I had sacrificed a pawn at some point in the game, and then got this position. Can you find the winning continuation here for white? The first move should be pretty easy, right? Rook g7 check, king c8, and now white just has to crawl into the position with his pieces. And the move that does it is queen g6, and this position is hopeless. So black cannot do much here. I mean, the queen is going to come to h7, or it's already threatening queen e6. And how do you actually defend it? Like in this position, if you play something like queen e8, then what would win? There are many moves. Queen h7 should also be good. This is what I was thinking. And the queen is stuck. I mean, it's attacked. And if you move it, like queen d8, then I think queen h6 should attack the pawn again. And this time he cannot defend it. Rook e8 is not possible. Once this pawn falls, it'll be very easy to get to that king. And then a3 will come, and then queen takes c6 will also come. So this rook is very strong on the 7th. This was a very nice game, and I was very happy that I won this because I had lost to the same opponent last year, 2016 once, in not in a similar game, but it was a crushing game. So it was good that I came back in this game. So this was round 5. So after 5 rounds, I'm on 5 out of 5. Round 6, I was facing. Round 5 was Yogeshwaran. Round 6, I'm facing Parthasarathi, 1458, and I had this position. So this was another lucky break because I was down an exchange for most part of the game. I'm still down an exchange, but he played some careless moves. He did not play the best moves, and Slowly, I got these two, this passed pawn, and then I got a knight in the position. These two knights are very strong right now, and these two pawns are actually stopping f3, and h3 is not a problem because we'll just wait, and if he takes, we take back. F3 is something he wants to play. Even f4 is stopped because if you play f4, I'll just take and pass it. So these two pawns have a good control of the position, and my two knights coupled with this passed pawn give me good chances to win this actually. So he had blundered into this position little by little. And here, what do you think black should do? As the old saying goes, passed pawns need to be pushed. The more you push a passed pawn, more headaches your opponent will have. So of course c3. And from here he had a lot of problems to solve. I was threatening c2, and then once I get my knight somewhere closer like e3, I can promote and I'll be a piece up. I can get my king up and then promote. And white has no counterplay. Like his bishop and rook cannot do anything. All these two squares are covered by the knight. I cannot directly push two steps in queen because bishop will take it. But I can just play my moves king c5, sorry, king c5, king c4, king b3, king b2, and then promote. Because there's nothing I can do, and black can do whatever he wants. There is also like threat of push. Let's say rook goes somewhere, and then there is e3. The point is, if pawn takes, then we promote. Rook takes, knight takes, I'll be a piece up. But I can also play it slow, and this was an easy win actually. He lost on time, if I remember correctly. The position was too difficult to manage anyway. So this was round six. So I was on 6 out of 6. And then came round seven. This was against Ranjit Kalayarasan. He was also 1 for 5-8. And this was another interesting game. And we reached this position. So Ranjit, there was a power cut at this point actually. Just before his last move was knight d5. If you look at the position, I've got good space on the queen side. I'm kind of trying to play b5 and then c6 or something. My king side is also fine. I have two bishops. So position is good, which is why he made a blunder here. After the power cut, once power came back, he played knight d5 very fast. That turned out to be a mistake. Can you find out the winning move for white in this position? There's a tactic that wins me some material. And the move was rook takes d5. The point is if bishop takes bishop, then we take back with the rook. So I get two pieces for the rook. And of course, if pawn takes rook, I still get a piece, queen e7. Or bishop e7, there'll be a pin. So queen e7 is that. And queen take bishop. This is a great position. This is what happened actually. And he has a pass pawn, but my bishop is going to come to d6. My two bishops and the rook, along with these three pawns, easily won me the game actually. So after rook takes d5, his position is lost. So after 2 days, this was the end of second day, 4 rounds. I was in 7 out of 7. I was happy because it's very rare that you get to like 6 out of 6 or 7 out of 7 in tournaments. I've had it before, like once or twice, but this was the first time I had 7 out of 7. Uh, like prize is guaranteed. If you reach 7, then you'll get some prize even if you lose the next 2 games. But it's a good position to be in, right? Since it was the first time I reached 7 out of 7, I was also a little nervous. I did not know how to mentally prepare myself. And last day there were 2 rounds, 8th round and 9th round. In the 8th round, I had this position. My opponent was a girl named Mohana Prabha. She was 1583, and I had this position. I was in time trouble. She was also in some time trouble. She had sacrificed a piece to get this position. She's got like 3 pawns for the piece. But I was trying to make my own counterplay and make this good. So here, white has got a lot of threats. It's difficult to deal with everything with little time. I had like less than 1 minute here. You can see the threat. The threat is rook takes pawn, king moves, and then queen h7 is mate, right? Like if black makes a move like rook f2, that'll be a blunder because then she'll play queen rook check, king moves, and queen h7 is mate because this bishop is covering the f8 square, right? So this is a problem. So this was a big threat, and here I don't exactly remember what move I played. Yeah, I don't remember the move I played, but the correct move in this position would have been queen f5 because queen f5 allows rook h6, But then king g8, and there is no more problems because queen h7 is covered by the queen, and now black is getting his own counterplay. So let me try to recollect this one. In this position, I think I stopped this threat, rook h6 threat. And how did I stop it? I mean, I had no way to stop the threat now. So this was a position. What could I have done? Yeah, I don't remember the exact move I played, but I played some silly move in time trouble, and I lost this game. So this was a tough game because uh, I mean I played my best, but I just had a feeling I could have done better, maybe, because if I had won the game, I would have been on 8 out of 8, and then ninth round will not be that difficult because opponent would also want a draw to get a good prize. But so here I lost this, and I was on 7 out of 8. And in my last round, I was facing Kumaran, 1403. So going into the last round, my mindset was I had to win the game. Like the position was this. So I reached a position like this. My mindset was I wanted to win this game because after reaching 7 out of 7, I wanted to at least get to 8 out of 9 and get a decent prize, fourth or third, around that range, which was guaranteed if I won this. So I kind of went all in. If you look at this position, I have castle long. He is yet to castle short. And here I found a nice move, knight e4. And and my calculation was he cannot take. That's what I thought, because if he does not take, then I can play knight d6, and that knight is permanent there. It's a great position, right? But to my surprise, he just took. And after queen d7, king f8, the position is really crazy because I know his king is still in the center almost, but my pieces are also not developed properly, right? So this is the kind of game I wanted. So I was happy that I got such a game, and because there's good chance of winning this. It's a very double-edged game, but white has a decent position. My king is also not that safe. So I was happy I got this position, but then uh, I made some mistakes. My pieces did not develop properly, and after a few moves, move number 26, I reached this position. So here my position is already bad. I went into this line thinking, calculating that bishop g2 should be enough to hold. Because if I play bishop g2, queen takes knight, it's not a problem because rook is defending and attacking the queen. So bishop g2, queen goes somewhere, and then I thought I can develop my knight, and I'm kind of safe. This is what my thinking was. But then bishop g2 was a blunder. I played a big blunder. I overlooked the symbol rook takes knight, and the position is just lost after that because king here. Can you find the continuation for black? Rook b1 check. Now wherever I go, if I go to a3, then queen a5 is mate. Yeah, I have to go to a3 now. So a3, king a3, and then queen a5 is checkmate. So this was a pathetic position I reached in a game where I got a good position out of the opening, but I just did not do well. Now the story is not over here. The the tragedy was, like, after every game I analyze the game with computer, with app or computer after the game. It's a good practice. You need to analyze your game and understand. I mean, it's generally good to analyze after the day is over, after all the games over, or after the tournament, because it won't affect your tournament, like thinking in the future games. But still, I have this habit of analyzing it right after the game to understand where the mistakes were and if I missed a win, just to understand what all moves could have been played was good. So after the game, I went out and I was not happy. Of course, I was in 7 out of 9, lost a terrible game, and the, the tragedy was when I analyzed the game. Like in this position, after King F8, I had played Queen B7, Rook B8, Queen C7, and here he played Knight E7. And I played some move like knight g3 or knight c3, something normal here in this position. But the engine was screaming a mate in two. If I give you this position, and if someone tells you there's a win here, of course it's very easy to find, right? Can you try finding the win for white? It wouldn't take much of your time. I am ashamed that I did not find it, but it's different when you play when you're playing an actual tournament game. Nobody tells you there is a win there. So I missed it, and the move that I missed was it was a maiden two. Queen takes rook, knight takes, and then rook d8 is checkmate. So this was a hard pill to swallow because I got the kind of position I wanted. I mean, it was a kind of game that I expected and I wanted, which I could have won. All the moves were normal and correct, like in the right spirit of the position. But I just could not find this final nail in the coffin, and this was very hard because at the end I got 7 out of 9 and got 15th prize. My rating also increased like 22 points. But these two losses in the 8th and ninth rounds were a big lesson for me. So when I look back at this tournament, this was a huge learning experience because you need such experiences to understand how difficult it is to handle a situation where there's a huge risk. Like to handle such tense positions situations, you need some mental capability. So these kind of experiences really help us as a player. So this was a very important lesson for me. This tournament, it helped me in my future tournaments when I got to such a situation. Like in some tournaments, you get to a good position, like 8 out of 9 or 6 out of 8. Some positions like that, where you can go up if you do well, and you can also go down if you don't. Like the stakes are high in that situation. So this taught me to be mentally prepared and stable and be calm when you have a situation like that. So at that time, this was hard because the next day I had work. I had to get back to Bangalore for my job. I was not a chess coach at the time. I was part-time chess coach, but I had a main job at the time. So I did not have the intention of coming back and working the next day because this was too hard mentally. Like missing a win in the ninth round after playing so well in the first seven and also playing well in the ninth round, first half of the game. So I spent the next day in Karur itself, like roaming around. Not really, but there was some roaming around. So just to calm the mind and get back to business as usual. So yeah, so I hope you enjoyed the experience that I shared. This was in 2017 March, and then later there were some good results for me in 2018. And yeah, so thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed it.